best? Who can tell me what 5 times 2 is? Minky.
10.
Okay. So did you know that you guys just already know what factors are?
Yeah.
You already pretty much just told me what factors are. So, let's see, 3 times 4, okay, that is what? 12, okay. So 3 and 4 are factors of 12. So I'm going to teach you how to get those, but basically, if you know your multiplication facts, you know factors. Everyone needs to open up their Smarties. Don't eat any of them yet. So now that you have them all spread out, get 4 Smarties first and put the rest of them aside. So it should look something like this. Should have just 4 Smarties. Make sure the other ones are out of the way so they don't confuse you. So now, to find factors using these Smarties, you have to make a rectangle or a square that you can. So obviously there's only 4, so this one's a little bit easier. So I want you to make a rectangle first out of Smarties. How can you make a rectangle out of Smarties? So you have 4 right across here. So now to find factors when you use these Smarties, you count rows, which is across. So who can you show me this? Show me a row. Okay, so this is a row. And then you multiply it by the columns. So show me a column. Okay, so what's a row? What's a column?
It's good.
What's a column? No column. What's a row? Okay, so how many columns do we have here? Who can tell me? You know? 4 columns. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we multiply it by the number of rows. How many rows do we have? Evan?
1.
1 row. So you have 1 times 4. So when you multiply these are showing your factors of what you have. So of 4, you've got 1 and 4 so far. Okay? So now can you make a square out of your Smarties? It should look something like this.
Yes.
Right? How many of you had this? Okay. So now who can tell me how many rows there are in this one?
2.
Shayla. 2 rows. How many columns do we have? Gabe? 2. Okay, so then you have 2 times 2. And so this is also a factor of 4, which is 2. And when you write factors, you don't have to write them more than once. So if you have 2 and 2, you just have to write it once. Okay, so our answers for 4, our factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. And I'm going to explain just a little bit better on the next one. So now we have 12. So now you need to get 12 Smarties together. There should be 15 altogether if you didn't eat any yet. First with the Smarties, what are we trying to build out of our Smarties? Anna? A rectangle or a square. So who can show me, with your Smarties right now as I walk around, a rectangle out of the Smarties with rows and columns? Canone has it. Shayla has it. Yep, Maren's got one. Yep, you've got one. Yep.
I'm making one.
Okay, Canone, tell me how many rows you made. Remember, rows are this way. Okay, you made 6 rows. And how many columns did you have? 2. So 6 and 2. So what are 2 factors of 12 that you just used finding your Smarties? 6 and 2. Okay. So who else had it? I think Maren had one. Maren, how many rows do you have? You have 1 row, right? So Maren made a Smartie line, a rectangle, that's all 1. So how many columns do you have then? 12. So she has 12 and 1, which are factors of 12, right? Okay, there's one more option. Can anyone else find it? How many rows do you have? 3 rows, and how many columns do you have? 4. So from what Griffin said, what are more factors of 12? Found all the factors of 12 using your Smarties by the different ways. Okay, so now, you can eat your Smarties now if you want, because now we're not going to use them anymore. Number 8. So if we have to find the factors for 8, here's what you do. So first, you start with the number 1, because any number times 1 is itself, right? So if you have 1,455,000, isn't 1,455,000 times 1, 1,455,000, right? Okay, so you have that one. So then 1 times 8 is 8. So this is what you start with. Anytime you do a problem with factors, any number you have, no matter how big, how small, it's always going to have 1 and itself. So that's what we're doing first. Now the goal of this is you're going to try to close in the numbers. So we're going to work in. So now we've got with 1. So what's after 1?
2.
2. Okay, so does 2 go into 8? Can you multiply something by 2 to get 8? Lauren, what can you do?
2 times 4.
2 times 4. So you put a comma here, and you put 2 right after the 1, and then you put the 4 on the other side. So we're trying to close in here, so we're getting closer. So what number do we have left between 2 and 4? 3. Does 3 go into 8, though? No? Okay, so then it looks like we're done. I want you to write, what do we do first when we're looking for factors? What number do you know right away that already has a factor in 15? 1. Okay, so we'll go ahead and write a 1 here. Okay, and what's 1 times what to get 15? 15, so write it on that side. Good. So does everybody understand that? Give me a thumbs up if you understand that. Okay, so what do we do next? What number do we go, what's right after 1? 2. Okay, so Shayla, does 2 go into 15? No. Okay, so we can't do 2, so what's after 2? Justin?
3.
Does 3 go into 15?
Yes.
Come up here. So where do you write the 3 at? Comma, 3. Okay, now what times 3 do you get? 5. So write the 5 there. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so now, what number do we have left between 3 and 5? Or 5. Okay, so 4, because we still have numbers left. But does 4 go into 15, Madison? No, 4 does not go into 15. So are we done?
Yeah.
Did we find all the factors?
Yeah.
33. Do this one on your paper. Shayla, what do we do first?
1 and 33.
Will you come write that on the board for me? Okay, Anna, what do we do next? What's our next step in our process here?
Well, you can't do 2.
You can't do 2. Why?
You can't because, well, it's not.
It's an odd number. Good. So you can't do 2. So now that you know you can't do 2, what do you do next, Anna?
A 3 and
A 3. Okay, so what times 3 is 33?
11.
11. We go 10. 4. Does 4 go into 33? Okay. So what do we do after 4? Lily? What do you check after 4? 5. So does it end in a 0 or a 5? 33? Does 33 end in a 0 or a 5? No. So you know 5's not going to be in it. What about 6? Can anyone tell me if 6 times something is 33? No. Okay. What about 7? Does 7, does that have a factor with 30? No. 8? No. 9? 10? And we're at 11. So that's it. Okay, so let's look at number 1 real quick, and then we'll put this away. And then we'll be